This is Resonance 104.4 FM. Flipping marvellous. I'm Nick Hennegan, and welcome to another slice of Literary London, where we talk about, well, sort of things literally in London-y. We're also, of course, don't forget, on bohemianbritain.com, www.bohemianbritain.com, and we're also, of course, on the Resonance player for forever and ever, aren't we? Hey? Yes, I think we are. I hope you're well since last time we met. And we're going to celebrate a couple of occasions this time, mainly all to do with women, because I'm not sure when you're listening to this, but International Women's Day is on I do believe, the 8th of March, 2024. And also, we're just coming to the end of Women's Week, which I'll tell you a bit more about. And obviously I'm a great fan of women. My mother was one, and I'm going to marry one later this year. But joking aside, I am, as a bloke, obviously quite horrified at some of the things that have happened in the past in terms of inclusion and how, inclusion generally. I mean, I don't want to get too political about it all, but anything that we can do to promote equality, actually at any level, particularly nowadays in the world, I think is probably a good thing. Don't you? Yes. And so, Literary London this week looks at the achievement of women. And I'm going to play you a poem now, which is actually by a bloke. It's Dylan Thomas. But the music is beautiful, and that's by a woman called Debbie Wiseman. Now, if you ever watch the telly, there's a thing called Father Brown, a kind of murder mystery drama that's been running for a few years, made by the BBC. Debbie also wrote the music to that. So enjoy the talents now of Debbie Wiseman from the Griff Rhys-Jones produced film, which is rather brilliant, by the way, A Poet in New York.
Now as I was young and easy under the apple boughs, about the lilting house and happy as the grass was green, the night above the dingles starry, time let me hail and climb, golden in the heydays of his eyes. And honoured among wagons I was prince of the apple towns, and once below a time I lordly had the trees and leaves trail with daisies and barley down the rivers of the windfall light. All the sun long it was running, it was lovely, the hay fields high as the house, the tunes from the chimneys. It was air and playing, lovely and watery, and fire green as grass. And nightly under the simple stars, as I rode to sleep, the owls were bearing the farm away. And honoured among foxes and pheasants by the gay house, under the new-made clouds, and happy as the heart was long, in the sun borne over and over, I ran my heedless ways. My wishes raced through the house-high hay, and nothing I cared at my sky-blue trades, that time allows in all his tuneful turning, so few and such morning songs, before the children green and golden follow him out of grace. Nothing I cared in the lamb-white days, that time would take me up to the swallow-thronged loft by the shadow of my hand, in the moon that is always rising. Oh, as I was young and easy in the mercy of his means, time held me green and dying, though I sang in my chains like the sea.
Ah, that's beautiful, isn't it? That was the voice of Tom Hollander reading Dylan Thomas's poem As I Was Young and Easy. But the music, more importantly, on this celebration of Women's Week and Women's Day, International Women's Day, is by an extremely talented writer. And as I say, you'll probably know her from doing such things as Father Brown on the television. Debbie Wiseman. Yeah, Debbie Wiseman, lovely. I'm Nick Hennegan. This is Resonance 104.4 FM. It's Literary London, also on bohemianbritain.com. As always, if you'd like to get in touch, drop me an email. It's probably the easiest. I'm on radio at mavericktheatre.co.uk. Maverick. Radio at mavericktheatre.co.uk. Or I've got my own now. It's nick at bohemianbritain.com. Oh, aye. Nick at bohemianbritain.com if you're involved in anything. Then just let us know if you've written a book or if you're a local artist or you just want to have a chat. Then do get in touch. It's always lovely to hear from you. And say hello again to Kath from California, who's been in touch. And she said, I heard your Californian interview last week. That was with talking about a new play that's opening in London. She said, yeah, I'm surprised she wasn't on the beach when she was talking to you. Kath, by the way, always listens on the beach. And apparently the weather's never bad in California. I shall go one of these days. But not right now, because we are celebrating International Women's Week and International Women's Day, and some poetry now by women. This is Rather Glorious by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Oh yeah.
How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach, when feeling out of sight for the ends of being and ideal grace. I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet need by sun and candlelight. I love thee freely as men strive for right. I love thee purely as they turn from praise. I love thee with the passion put to use in my old griefs and with my childhood's faith. I love thee with a love I seem to lose with my lost saints. I love thee with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life. And, if God choose, I shall but love thee better after death.
Come, walk with me. There's only thee to bless my spirit now. We used to love on winter nights, to wander through the snow. Can we not woo back old delights? The clouds rush dark and wild. They fleck with shade our mountain heights, the same as long ago. And on the horizon rest at last in looming masses piled, while moonbeams flash and fly so fast we scarce can say they smiled. Come walk with me, come walk with me. We were not once so few, but death has stolen our company as sunshine steals the dew. He took them one by one, and we are left the only two. So closer would my feelings twine, because they have no stay but thine. Nay, call me not, it may not be. Is human love so true? Can friendship's flower droop on for years and then revive anew? No, though the soil be wet with tears, how fair soe'er it grew, the vital sap once perished will never flow again. And surer than that dwelling dread, the narrow dungeon of the dead, time parts the hearts of men.
Lying apart now, each in a separate bed. He with a book, keeping the light on late. She like a girl dreaming of childhood, all men elsewhere. It is as if they wait some new event. The book he holds unread, her eyes fixed on the shadows overhead. Tossed up like flotsam from a former passion, how cool they lie. They hardly ever touch. Or if they do, it is like confession of having little feeling, or too much. Chastity faces them, a destination for which their whole lives were a preparation. Strangely apart, yet strangely close together. Silence between them like a thread to hold and not wind in, and time itself's a feather touching them gently. Do they know they're old, these two, who are my father and my mother, whose fire from which I came has now grown cold.
Backward, turn backward, time in your flight. Make me a child again just for tonight. Mother, come back from the echoless shore. Take me again to your heart as of yore. Kiss from my forehead the furrows of care. Smooth a few silver threads out of my hair. Over my slumbers your loving watch keep. Rock me to sleep, mother, rock me to sleep. Backward, flow backward, O tide of the years. I am so weary of toil and of tears. Toil without recompense, tears all in vain. Take them and give me my childhood again. I have grown weary of dust and decay, weary of flinging my soul wealth away, weary of sowing for others to reap. Rock me to sleep, mother, rock me to sleep. Tired of the hollow, the base, the untrue, mother, oh mother, my heart calls for you. Many a summer the grass has grown green, blossomed and faded, our faces between. Yet with strong yearning and passionate pain, long I tonight for your presence again. Come from the silence so long and so deep. Rock me to sleep, mother, rock me to sleep. Come, let your brown hair, just lighted with gold, fall on your shoulders again as of old. Let it drop over my forehead tonight, shading my faint eyes away from the light. For with its sunny edge shadows once more, haply will throng the sweet visions of yore. Lovingly, softly, its bright billows sweep. Rock me to sleep, mother, rock me to sleep. Mother, dear mother, the years have been long since I last listened your lullaby song. Sing then, and unto my soul it shall seem womanhood's years have been only a dream. Clasped to your heart in a loving embrace, with your light lashes just sweeping my face, never hereafter to wake or to weep. Rock me to sleep, mother, rock me to sleep.
Remember me when I'm gone away, gone far away into the silent land, when you can no more hold me by the hand, nor I half turn to go, yet turning stay. Remember me when no more day by day you tell me of our future that you planned. Only remember me. You understand, it will be late to cancel then, or pray. Yet if you should forget me for a while, and afterwards remember, do not grieve. For if the darkness and corruption leave a vestige of the thoughts that once I had, better by far you should forget and smile, than that you should remember and be sad.
In all my dreams, before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. If poetry could tell it backwards, true, begin. That moment shrapnel scythed you to the stinking mud, but you get up, amazed, watch bled bad blood run upwards from the slime into its wounds. See lines and lines of British boys rewind back to their trenches, kiss the photographs from home. Mothers, sweethearts, sisters, younger brothers. not entering the story now, to die and die and die. Dulce, no. Decorum, no. Pro patria mori. You walk away. You walk away. Drop your gun, fixed bayonet, like all your mates do too. Harry, Tommy, Wilfred, Edward, Bert, and light a cigarette. There's coffee in the square, warm French bread, and all those thousands dead are shaking dried mud from their hair and queuing up for home, freshly alive. A lad plays Tipperary to the crowd, released from history, the glistening healthy horses fit for heroes, kings. You lean against a wall, your several million lives still possible, and crammed with love, work, children, talent, English beer, good food. You see the poet took away his pocketbook and smile. If poetry could truly tell it backwards, then it would.
In the dungeon crypts idly did I stray, reckless of the lives wasting there away. Draw the ponderous bars, open warder stern. He dared not say me nay, the hinges harshly turn. Our guests are darkly lodged, I whispered, gazing through the vault, whose grated eyes showed heaven more grey than blue. This was when glad spring laughed in a waking pride. I darkly lodged enough, returned my sullen guide. Then, God forgive my youth, forgive my careless tongue, I scoffed as the chill chains on the damp flagstones rung. Confined in triple walls, art thou so much to fear, that we must bind thee down and clench thy fetters here? The captive raised her face. It was as soft and mild as sculptured marble saint or slumbering unweaned child. It was so soft and mild, it was so sweet and fair, pain could not trace a line, nor grief a shadow there. The captive raised her hand and pressed it to her brow. I have been struck, she said, and I am suffering now. Yet these are little worth, your bolts and iron strong, and were they forged in steel, they could not hold me long. Hoarse laughed the jailer grim. Shall I be one to hear? Dost think, fond dreaming wench, that I shall grant thy prayer? Or better still, wilt melt my master's heart with groans? Ah, sooner might the sun thaw down these granite stones. My master's voice is low, his aspect bland and kind, but hard as flint the soul that lurks behind. And I am rough and rude, yet not more rough to see than is the hidden ghost that has its home in me. About her lips there played a smile of almost scorn. My friend, she gently said, you have not heard me mourn. When you my kindred lives, my lost life can restore, then may I weep and sue, but never friend before. Still, let my tyrants know, I am not doomed to wear, year after year in gloom and desolate despair. A messenger of hope comes every night to me, and offers for short life eternal liberty. He comes with western winds, with evening's wandering airs, with that clear dusk of heaven that brings the thickest stars. Winds take a pensive tone, and stars a tender fire, and visions rise and change that kill me with desire. Desire for nothing known in my maturer years, when joy grew mad with awe at counting future tears. When, if my spirit sky was full of flashes warm, I knew not whence they came, from sun or thunderstorm. But first a hush of peace, a soundless calm descends, the struggle of distress and fierce impatience ends. Mute music soothes my breast, unuttered harmony, that I could never dream till earth was lost to me. Then dawns the invisible, the unseen its truth reveals. My outward sense is gone, my inward essence feels. Its wings are almost free, its home, its harbour found, measuring the gulf, it stoops and dares the final bound. Oh, how dreadful is the check! Intense the agony when the ear begins to hear and the eye begins to see. When the pulse begins to throb, the brain to think again, the soul to feel the flesh, and the flesh to feel the chain. Yet I would lose no sting, would wish no torture less. The more that anguish racks, the earlier it will bless. And robed in fires of hell, or bright with heavenly shine, if it but herald death, the vision is divine. She ceased to speak, and we unanswering turned to go. We had no further power to work the captive woe. Her cheek, her gleaming eye, declared that man had given a sentenced, unapproved, and overruled by heaven.
Wow. What a collection of creative talent that was. A compilation celebrating International Women's Day and Women's Week. You heard Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And then, of course, after that, it was Come Walk With Me by Emily Bronte. One Flesh by Elizabeth Jennings. Rock Me to Sleep by Carol Ann Duffy. Christina Rossetti and Remember Me, which always pulls at all sorts of people's heartstrings, doesn't it? I remember my gran, but that's another story. Another one from Carol Ann Duffy, Last Post. And then finally that was Emily Bronte's The Prisoner. A celebration of female artists, Women's Day and Women's Week. And I've really enjoyed doing that. There are some, and a collection of artists who've read some of the greatest poems ever written. Yeah, brilliant. We have to do that once or twice again. I'm going to start listening to my own show, you know. Hey? Yes, I think I am. Are you, Nick? Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm going to start listening to it. I want to hear that again. So, brilliant. Thank you very much for your company. That's kind of all we've got time for, more or less. As always, if you'd like to get in touch, if there's something you'd like me to play, or if there's something you'd like to say hello to, you know, the old welcome, you know, what do you call it? Request thing. Dedications, that's it, yes. Do let me know. Email's easiest. radio@mavericktheatre.co.uk. radio@mavericktheatre.co.uk. Or my new address, which is nick@bohemianbritain.com. nick@bohemianbritain.com. And, yeah, you can be a part of it too. I would love you to be. I've also got an idea for a new musical thing I want to do, which will involve 4 women. But maybe I'll tell you that another time. All right, then I will. Thank you very much for your company. I'll see you next time. I'm Nick Hennegan on bohemianbritain.com. It's Literary London, mainly, of course, on Resonance 104.4 FM.